Good morning, students. The chapter that we are going to do today from English grammar is tenses. Let's first of all know what do you mean by this word tense. The word tense means time. The three main divisions of time are past tense or simple past tense, present tense or simple present tense, future tense or simple future tense. Past tense or simple past tense refers to the time that has gone by, a time then which has passed. Present tense or simple present tense refers to the time now, at present. And future tense or simple future tense refers to the time to come. Therefore, tense means the form of a verb which tells the time of an action. So tense indicates the time when an action has happened, that is past tense. When an action happens or is happening, that is present tense. Or when will an action happen, that is future tense. The following are few examples, each example belonging to a separate tense. The first example, let's read that. We are late. The form of a verb are tells you that the action that is taking place here belongs to the present tense. That is, the action is being done. The action is taking place now. We are late. So this is the present tense. The second example, we were late. Again, the form of a verb were tells you that this action has already happened in the past. This is not an action which is happening now. This is not an action which will happen in future. Rather, this is an action which has already happened. So, this belongs to the present tense. The third example, we shall be late, is a sentence. Herein, if you see, the form of verb shall be tells you that this action is not taking place right now. This action has not taken place before. Rather, this is an action that will be taking place in some time, maybe in the future. So here, you can write shall, you can also use the word will. Both are correct and both are acceptable. So, we shall be late or we will be late. Both the sentences are acceptable. So, the first sentence is a present tense. The second one belongs to the past tense. The third sentence belongs to the future tense. We will be discussing few more examples here. The first example, the stars are shining. The action that is referred to here is the shining of the stars. And this action is happening right now. And that's the reason why the form of a verb are tells you that this action is taking place now. The stars are shining right now. So, the action that is being referred to here refers to the present tense. In the second sentence, the stars were shining. Again, the form of the verb were tells you that the action that is being referred to here belongs to the past. That means here it is being said the stars were shining before and the action is not being done right now. The stars were shining in the past. Hence, this sentence belongs to the past tense. The third sentence, the stars will be shining. If you read the sentence, you know the form of the verb will be tells you that this action does not belong to the present time. Neither does it belong to the past time. Rather, this action is being referred to an action that will be taking place in the future. That means the stars will be shining, means in the future this action will be continuing. So the first one, are shining, this tells you that that action is being done right now. The stars are still shining now, so it belongs to the present tense. The stars were shining, that means an action which refers to the past time, the time that has gone by. The stars were shining, and the action here refers to the past tense. And the third one, the stars will be shining, here the action that is being referred to belongs to the future tense. Now, since all the three tenses have been introduced to you, namely simple past tense, simple present tense, and simple future tense. Now, we are going to learn each of these tenses in detail. The first one being the simple past tense. Let's know what is the simple past tense is all about. Past tense or simple past tense is used for actions in the past time. It is used for actions that took place at some particular time in the past and is over now. That means simple past tense refers to that particular time when the actions that have taken place during this particular time belongs to the time that has gone by, the actions that have already happened in the past. For example, Nancy danced well. The form of the verb is very important to be kept in mind when you are solving exercises based on simple past tense or simple present tense or simple future tense. Keep in mind that you take a good notice of the form of the verb. In the first example, Nancy danced well. If you look at the form of the verb danced, you find that this last ed, these two letters, tells you that this particular action has taken place in the past time. That is, Nancy has already danced. She is not dancing now, neither will she dance in future. This action tells you about an action which has taken place already, much before. So Nancy danced well. In this particular sentence, you find that this verb danced has evolved, it has originated, it has come from a root word dance. So dance is in the present form, danced is the past tense. So Nancy danced well. The second example, the teacher distributed the storybooks. So the teacher has performed a particular job right now. The action that has taken place now is the distribution of the storybooks. And what work has the teacher done just now? He has finished doing a particular action, that is, he has finished distributing the storybooks. Distributed, ed. So whenever you come across words ending with ed, that tells you that it is in the past tense form. The third example, we lit lamps on Diwali. So lit, again, this form of verb again tells you that the action has already taken place in the past. We light lamps on Diwali is different. We lit lamps on Diwali is different. So lit is the past tense. So herein we find that the third sentence also belongs to simple past tense. So we see that in all the above examples, the verbs are in simple past tense. That means the actions that are being done in all the three sentences have already been done in the past. The actions have already taken place in the past. Hence, these three examples. So we see that in all the above examples, the verbs danced, distributed, and lit are all in simple past tense. Now, let's know where to use simple present tense. The simple present tense is used to express a past habit, a habit of the past, or regular action in the past. To express these two, or either of these two, you use the simple past tense. Let's look at the examples. She went to her native place every year. So here we are discussing about a person, she, and she has got a past habit. That means every year this particular she goes to her native place. But yes, of course, you have to keep in mind that this is a past habit. So The form of verb used here is went. So this is a past tense of go. We all know this. Number 2, he went to college every morning. This example again tells you that this is a regular action which he has been doing in the past. He went to college every morning. Every morning he is used to do this regular action of going to college. So he went to college every morning. So again we know that went is the past tense of go. Now the simple past tense is also used to express an action that began and ended in the past. So it began in the past and ended in the past. Such actions are also taken into consideration while using simple past tense. Number 1, Anita ate noodles in the morning. Ate is a past tense of eat. Soldiers fought the Battle of Troy. Fought is a past tense of fight. Shah Jahan built the Taj Mahal long ago. Built is a past tense of build. So here again, all these 3 examples tells you that the simple past tense is used to express an action that began in the past and ended again in the past itself. In the first sentence, Anita ate noodles in the morning. Soldiers fought in the Battle of Troy. Shah Jahan built the Taj Mahal long ago. All these 3 forms of verbs tell you that it belongs to the simple past tense. The simple past tense is also used to express an action that took place at some particular time in the past, and that action is over now. The first example, she applied for admission last week. So in this example, we find what did she do? What is the action done by her? The action done by her is she has applied for admission last week. So if you see the form of verb here, applied, it ends with ed. It's the past tense of apply. Again, in example number 2, Jack received this letter yesterday. So the action here refers to the receiving of letter by Jack. And when did Jack receive this letter? He received it yesterday. Yesterday means a day which does not belong to the future. And here we are not even talking about today. We are talking about a day which has already passed and also the action which has already taken place. So Jack received this letter yesterday. Received, again this form of verb shows you it ends with ed and hence is the past tense of receive. In the third example also, the match began at 10 a.m. So that means that it has begun already. It has begun right in the morning itself, 10 a.m. This is an action of the past, and began, we already know by this particular example, is a past tense of begin. So we come to know from the form of verbs herein that simple past tense is also used to express an action that took place at some particular time in the past and is over now. Also, simple past tense is used to narrate stories. One such example can be cited, once upon a time there lived a prince. So you see this particular sentence, this particular example narrates a story. It tells you that once upon a time there was a prince, there lived a prince. Again, if you see the form of the word ends with ed. So that again tells you, indicates that this particular reference is being made to an action that has taken place in the past. Students, before we move further, let me tell you a bit about negative sentences and interrogative sentences. Sentences which have words like no, not, nothing and never are called negative sentences. Whereas interrogative sentences are sentences which ask questions, and such sentences end with a question mark or mark of interrogation. So just keep this difference between the negative sentences and the interrogative sentences in mind. Now let's come back to the formation of simple past tense. How to form simple past tense? In positive statements, we use the simple past tense of the verb with all subjects. And in negative statements, the pattern is, however, different. Let's see how sentences are formed. I mean, the simple past tense is formed when it comes to negative statements. The pattern, however, is subject plus did not. This is the word that you have to use here. Did not plus root form of the verb. That means if the sentence given to you is Abhijit did not sing well. How did you get this conclusion? How did you form this negative statement? You have to write down the subject, that is Abhijit, plus did not you have to add, plus the root form you have to add, the root form of the verb, that is sing, plus the rest of the sentence. So, Abhijit did not sing well. This is the final formation of the negative statement or the negative sentence. We can see another example. The moon plus did not plus shine plus brightly. Now this is another pattern of the formation of the negative statement. Again, the moon is a subject here, plus did not, which is the pattern again we have followed here, plus the root form of the verb shine, plus brightly. So the sentence is the moon did not shine brightly. So since you find the words did not here also, did not here also, hence this forms the negative sentence and it is belonging to the simple past tense. Also note that did not is shortened as didn't. Now let's know how to form interrogative sentences with respect to simple past tense. Now, as I've already told you, what are interrogative sentences? Sentences which ask questions and end with a question mark are called interrogative sentences. In interrogative sentences, the pattern is as follows. Did plus you have to add the subject, plus you have to add the root form of the verb given, plus you just add the rest of the sentence. Again, towards the end, you have to add a question mark or mark of interrogation. The other form is question word plus did plus addition of the subject plus the root form of the verb plus the rest of the sentence, and towards the end again you have to add the question mark, that is a mark of interrogation. Let's apply these two patterns and form the sentences. The first example you see, did Abhijit sing well? Now this first example is related to the first pattern, that is to make or to create this interrogative sentence. To form this interrogative sentence, how did we form this? We have followed this first pattern. We have written did plus the subject, Abhijit is a subject, plus the root form of the verb. The root form of the verb is sing here, plus the rest of the sentence, that is well. It was the only remaining part of the sentence, well, plus the question mark that you have added here. So here the sentence is, did Abhijit sing well? So we have converted the sentence to interrogative sentence. So herein we find that it ends with a question mark and it asks a question. Now a second example, we have followed the second pattern. Question word how plus did plus subject is Abhijit plus the root form of the verb, that is sing, plus the rest of the sentence nothing because we have added a question word in the beginning, plus question mark, that is the mark of interrogation. So herein we found that how is a question word, Abhijit is the subject and sing is the root form of the verb. Hence, the interrogative sentence formed is, how did Abhijit sing? So the sentences are of two types here. Did Abhijit sing well? This is one form of interrogative sentence which refers to the past tense. The second one, how did Abhijit sing, also refers to the past tense, but the form is different here. That is, in the beginning, the second sentence, the beginning, we have a question word. So both the examples are related to the simple past tense, but both are interrogative sentences formed in two different manners.